Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So today on the Warhammer community page, they showcased the Warhammer 40,000 Christmas Battleforce Boxes. And I know there was a lot of speculation about whether these were actually going to be a thing this year because of, 2020, but it seems like they are, so let's take a look at them and see what you can look forward to getting inside some of these boxes. The 6 boxes they'll be releasing for 40k look to be for the Space Marines, the Necrons, the Astra Militarum, the Chaos, Tau, and the Tyranids. So starting from the top, obviously, the Space Marines. This is the Interdiction Force, which appears to be a Vanguard slash Phobos themed set, and gets you a Captain in Phobos armor, 10 Infiltrators or Incursors, 10 Reavers, a Warsuit, and an Impulsor. Now I'm not going to go too much into the price with these boxes because I don't think we know just yet exactly what the price point is going to be, but it's pretty sure bet that there will be some savings, possibly some significant savings involved, usually in the form of basically getting a unit or a vehicle essentially free. So this set overall seems to be fairly nice. I know the Vanguard and Phobos stuff is a little bit meh for some people, and certainly Reavers still aren't great, but getting an Impulsor, again, pretty much free is really nice, and Impulsors in general are a great addition to your army, so I definitely think that this box, purely from the standpoint of getting another transport in your army, could be a useful one to look at. The Warsuit is, as always, a great unit to have, and I like the fact that this set pushes the whole special forces aspect of the Primaris Marines that seems to be a big thing throughout 8th and throughout 9th. I think being able to start a lot of your units, such as the Warsuit and the Infiltrators, up the board a little bit, and then also potentially being able to move your units a lot faster by having that impulsive transport means that you can do a very much sort of rapid response force for the Primaris Marines, which suits the, again, Vanguard and Phobos themed stuff. So while yes, I don't think this box is going to be the most optimal for many players, I think if you're running something like a Raven Guard or even something like a Blood Angel or a Space Wolf army where you want to get up close and personal, this set definitely has some potential for you there. Next up we have the Necrons Eradication Legion, which again looks very cool. The page originally I don't think had the Triarch Stalker included, but it looks like they've updated it now. So you get 10 warriors, and by the looks of the picture it is the new warriors, which is very nice too. 5 Lich Guard or Praetorians, a Canoptech Spider, the aforementioned Stalker, a Doom or Night Scythe, a Technomancer, and either 5 Immortals or Death Marks. Again, this is a very nice little army to put together, gives you some solid troop options depending on whether you want to take the Warriors and the Immortals or go for the Death Marks instead. Some heavy hitters in the Doom Scythe and the Lich Guard or Praetorians, which I know Lich Guard are very sort of like tanky at the moment, but the Doom Scythe has got a very strong gun. I think it may be a little bit overpriced points wise, or at least that's what some people have been saying, but the gun certainly is very potent. I'm also assuming that with the Warrior Sprue you will get some Scarabs, or else the Spider will feel a little bit lonely, but I think overall this is going to be a great little army that you can put together for your Necrons, either if you're starting something new or you're just adding to your existing dynasty. I certainly think that getting potentially 2 troops choices in the 10 warriors and the 5 immortals is going to be a very nice thing for new Necron players or even existing Necron players to have, and the Triarch Stalker is still pretty good. The Doom Scythe and the Night Scythe, I think the Doom Scythe is better, but they're, getting a flyer is always a nice thing to have in an army as well. Yeah, I think overall this is a pretty nice little box for the Necrons. Again, depending on price, you're probably going to be getting the flyer or the Stalker, or maybe the flyer and the Spider, something like that, essentially for free. So even if you have a Necron army and you just want to add a few bits to it, it's probably worth looking at this just for getting the things that you want and then maybe selling on the bits that you don't need. The Astra Militarum box has already been shown in this Sunday preview video, but again it seems to have a decent number of troops with 20 guardsmen and a command squad. I really like the addition of the 2 tanks and the Sentinel because it really pushes the feel of the Astra Militarum as like a combined arms force, with infantry being supported by all manner of tanks and sort of like artillery and that kind of thing. Would I have preferred a Leman Russ to the Hydra? Yeah, probably, to be honest, but I don't think it's a big deal really. I mean, the Hydra still looks really cool and I love it as a tank, and the fact that you get the Sentinel as well and the heavy weapons squads, which you can load out to have some heavy weapons, gives you a little force that has troops choices and also lets you do some anti-infantry, but also gives you a little bit of anti-tank punch. I think it's quite nice that GW also mentioned that you can use this as a Genestealer Cults force, which although most people I'm guessing will probably know already, it's nice for them to include that in case there are people reading this that are sort of semi-new to the hobby and are just looking for something new to pick up for a new army, or their first ever army, and may not realize that you can use it for Genestealer cults. So that's nice for them to include, and gives a little extra option for people that love the look of the Genestealer cults but want to use these Astra Militarum models as well. Next up, we have what is quite possibly my favourite of the box sets, and that is the Chaos Space Marines Decimation Warband. I love this. I absolutely love the Chaos Space Marine models, and I love the Forge Fiend, the Mauler Fiend model. It's just so chaosy and so cool. And you get the HQ, which I believe was originally from Blackstone Fortress. I don't know if he is available to buy separately at the moment, but either way, you get him. You get 10 Marines, 5 Havocs, 5 Terminators, and obviously the Mauler Fiend or the Forge Fiend. The infantry models are all the new ones that were released last year. I believe it was last year or the year before. So they look very detailed, very cool, and very new, and they've got a good sort of like size ratio to them. The whole set just looks really cohesive and like a proper Chaos Warband. And I think that whilst it may not be the most powerful set in terms of what you get, in terms of how it kind of comes together and how it looks, this is definitely the best looking set out of the lot of them in my opinion. Up next we have the Star Pulse Cadre for the Tau, and I'm not a huge player of the Tau, so whether this set is particularly good or not, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. But you get 10 Fire Warriors, 10 Pathfinders, 3 Crisis Suits, a Broadside, a Piranha and a Commander, as well as, it says, numerous drones. It seems like a good chunk of infantry, and unlike the other boxes, it's interesting to note they don't have any really big vehicles. They don't have any of their sort of, what are they called, the hammerheads. They've just got the Piranha and the Broadside, which are still pretty small. I think even the Broadside is like smaller than a Dreadnought, and the Piranha's like, I would compare them to like Sentinels rather than tanks like the Chimera that the Astra Militarum get. So depending on what the price points of these are, this one may be potentially the worst in terms of what you get for your money. It depends how much they are valued at, and essentially what you essentially get for free. But still, you get a lot of firepower and customization of the units that you get in terms of the Crisis Suits and the Commander and the Broadside. It'll definitely let you build a pretty unique and custom army with this box. So I think overall for an infantry based Tau set, this is looking like a pretty decent box to get to sort of swell your army. Finally, for the boxes, we have the Tyranids, the Brood Swarm. Now again, like the Chaos one, this is a very cool box. I think this one and the Chaos one are the two best out of the 6. It's got some genuinely very strong units for the Tyranids, and we all know at the moment they need pretty much all the help they can get. The Hive Tyrant, the Genestealers, the Hive Guard, the Exocrine, they're all legitimately pretty strong units for the Nids. I mean, maybe in the grand scheme of the game they're not amazing, but for the Tyranids they are some of the better units that you can get. And I mean, the Gargoyles are not amazing, but they can serve as a nice little distraction. And you get 10 of the Gargoyles, you get 16 Genestealers, which is great, 3 Hive Guard, the Exocrine, and the Hive Tyrant. It's legitimately a pretty strong box, I think, with some very top tier units for the Tyranids. And I definitely think that if anyone wants to expand their Hive fleets throughout 9th, this is going to be a box that you want to get just to stay competitive. And it looks cool as well. I love the look of the Hive Tyrant, I love the look of the Exocrine. The Genestealers are starting to look a little bit dated, but still, they're Genestealers, they're cool. I've always loved Genestealers ever since, sort of reading about them in 2nd edition. I think overall I'm pretty happy with these boxes. They usually come to, from memory, they usually come to around a 30-35% discount. So I actually think it's pretty worthwhile to get these in most cases. Even if there's a unit or two that you're not particularly keen on, you're pretty much going to be getting something for free, and then you can always sort of sell anything that you're not going to use. But I think in the majority of these boxes it's going to be along the case of getting something like the Exocrine, the Mauler Fiend, the Impulsor, the Doom Scythe, and then like the Hydra for free. I think maybe for the Tau you might end up getting something like the Piranha and the Broadside for free, but it will depend on exactly what the prices are. But I think overall you're going to be making a good little saving on these boxes, and if there's stuff in there that you want to add to your army or to start a new one, they're definitely worth picking up in most cases. In fact, in all cases, I think all these boxes, if you want to start a new army or add to your existing one, they're worth picking up. Funnily enough, I think that the one that is probably the least likely to be a viable addition to people's armies is maybe the Space Marine one, because yes, the Impulse is good and yes, the Warsuit is good, but a lot of people just don't like the Vanguard and the Phobos stuff, so you're kind of getting all the infantry in there is potentially not going to be going to good use. So yeah, funnily enough, I think the Space Marine one is probably the one that people are going to least likely want to get. The article also shows off and confirms the Blood Angel Combat Patrol box, which we talked about a few weeks ago. So nothing new in there, but it's nice to see that and have it confirmed that is what we're getting in the box. You can see the video. I will link it in the description below as well if you haven't heard my thoughts on that. But it'll be interesting to see what other factions get in their combat patrols. I'm assuming the Death Guard one will be making an appearance in the very near future. But yeah, then as we go into next year, hopefully we'll see some for maybe the Dark Angels, the Orcs, the Dark Eldar, who my money is on being some of the earlier codexes in 2021. So what do you think of these boxes? Which one do you think is going to end up being the best value in terms of money and in terms of points? I'd be interested to hear what you think is going to be the best overall in relative strength, you know, between the boxes, and I'd quite like to know what else you would have liked to have seen in them, or what other boxes you would have liked to have seen for different armies. I've spoken to some people that would have liked an Eldar one, but overall I think Games Workshop have done a pretty solid job on these personally. The only two that I'm actually going to be considering getting, just because it's the armies that I play or want to play, is going to be the Chaos and the Tyranid ones, which conveniently enough are the two that I think are the coolest and the best. But I do definitely think, as I said, that if I was a Necron or a Tau or a Guard player, I would almost certainly be picking these boxes up to add to my forces. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know any thoughts or ideas in the comments section below, and until next time, I will catch you later, guys.